presence of the Lord, followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. Lord, as God advocates, please make us effective channels for transformation. Where there is discrimination, let us all assert where there is subordination, let us all where there is marginalization, let us all where there is violence, let us all work for peace. Lord, grant us the healing heaven.
Noon pa man, malaki na ang naging bahagi ng mga kababaihan sa lipunang Pilipino. Kaisa sila sa marubdob na paghahangad ng kalayaan ng ating lahi. Kabilang sila sa paglinang ng ating makulay na sining at mayamang kultura. Kasapi sila sa pagtataguyod ng mga adhikain ng kapwa mamamayan at sa pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng lipunan. Katuwang sila sa pagtuklas sa mga larangan ng agham at medisina. Kapanalig sila sa pagpapairal ng batas, karapatan at katarungan para sa lahat. Kabahagi sila sa paglilingkod sa bayan at sa pagpapanatili ng demokrasyang Pilipino. Sa paglipas ng panahon, hindi nagmalaw ang kanilang pag-ibig sa ating inang bayan. Mga kababayan, ito ang alay ng mga kababaihang Pilipino para sa bayan. Tumayo po tayong lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Entities work together to ensure women have equal rights and opportunities. Women's active participation in seizing these opportunities is equally essential. Through the combined efforts of women and everyone, gender equality can transition from an aspiration to a tangible reality. To start the program, may we call on our moderator, Ms. Rhea Blanca Cariaga.
Good morning to each and every one of you. Welcome to We Talk, where women rise, lead, and make things happen. Today is all about you, your voice, your potential, and your power to take up space in entrepreneurship, innovation, leadership, public service, and agriculture. Because here's the truth. There is no limit to where women can go and what women can achieve. We would like to acknowledge our amazing participants, our young, aspiring women from Philmec. To be recognized, please kindly rise. R&D Cluster, Assets Cluster, Support Services, and Operations Cluster. You are the future leaders, innovators, and change makers. And today is your moment to be inspired, to learn, and to step boldly into the spaces you deserve. So get ready to be energized, empowered, and encouraged, because this is We Talk, where women speak, women lead, and women thrive. Without further ado, it's an honor to introduce our first speaker for this morning, Miss Bernadette B. De Los Santos,
currently serves as Executive Director 3 of Philippine Council for Agriculture and Fisheries under the Department of Agriculture and is widely recognized for her contributions to agriculture, enterprise development, and community empowerment. A passionate advocate of the arts, she is the founder and creative director of BDBD Enterprise, where she integrates sustainable fashion, organic farming, and traditional Filipino craftsmanship. Through her work, she has empowered rural women and helped preserve cultural heritage. An artist, writer, and award-winning advocate for creativity and community development, Ms. De Los Santos continues to inspire through her unique blend of creativity, leadership, and service. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Ma'am Bernadette BDB De Los Santos. Why don't we give her a big round of applause?
Good morning. Hindi ako sanay nasa spotlight. Parang ang liwa-liwanag. Okay, so Filmec Director Dr. Junicio Alvendia. Hindi po siya nandito. Members of the Filmec Gender and Development Focal Point System. Fellow Babaylans who will share their amazing stories today. To all the modern-day mystics who are gathered here, isang pagpupugay. It is a profound honor and privilege to stand before you today, not just as a public servant, but as a woman whose heart remains rooted in the soil of our rural communities and the vibrant colors of our heritage. This year's theme, Lead Like the Babaylans, Filipinas, resonates deeply with me. It reminds us that leadership is an act of creation, and like the Babaylans of old, we are called to be healers and transformers, turning vision into action to reshape our industries and the world around us. My journey to the halls of the Philippine Council of Agriculture and Fisheries, or PICAF, did not begin with a policy brief or a policy resolution. It began with art. But I soon realized that my art couldn't stay confined to a frame, although I have a lot of framed art pieces in my office. So if you happen to visit DA or Department of Agriculture, please visit the PICAF office. I felt a pull toward a different kind of medium, the people around me and the industry that I am in, which led me to volunteerism. In the fields, I looked past the crops and saw a quiet, untapped potential of the farmers' wives. These are the women who had the hands to create but lacked the opportunity to contribute. That observation was the first sketch of what would become the BDBD enterprise. A social enterprise where art and livelihood became one. In a few moments, I will walk you through the specific milestones of this journey, from the first stage of a social enterprise to the halls of government service. But before we dive into the how, I want to focus on the why. We are here to prove that a Filipina can be a light bringer, a farmer, an artist, a volunteer, and a public servant all in one. Empowerment is a collective journey. During my time as a RAFC chairperson, I learned that change happens when we listen as much as we lead. Today, as PICAF Executive Director, my goal is to ensure that the voices of the marginalized are not just heard, but are instrumental in shaping the policies of the entire agriculture and fisheries sector of our nation. Let this session be a reminder to all of us, your voice has power, your creativity has purpose, and your journey no matter how many times you've changed your palette, has the potential to inspire the future babaylans of this nation. Now, let me walk you through my presentation. Okay, I think the pictures will tell us a lot already. I don't have to explain all of them. But yeah, please go ahead with the presentation. So these are the women I taught the art and skill of hand embroidery in Bao Camarines Sur. And we use mostly upcyclable materials like denim. I forgot to bring some samples. Sally reminded me, but the senior that I am, I always forget things. So pasensya na po. But those are the things that we do. Please. And Sally and I met when I was a recipient of the Great Women Initiative of Canada. And it was also then that I met the former Prime Minister Justin P. Trudeau. Yeah. Those are the bags that we make. They are made by different communities. There's a community that makes the hand-woven basket. We have a community that do crochet. We have hand embroiderers, and of course, those that finish the product in the shop. I've been exposed to several national fairs, the best one of which was the Artefino in Rockwell. And this was where I got discovered by SM Cultura. So now Cultura carries the Bidi brand, and it is available in 5 premium branches. Next. Like what I said, you can do, your art is your medium on how to bring change in society. So you can see the art pieces at the background are works not only of me, but also of the community that I have taught. So being an artisanal work, hand embroidery was used to be looked down on, but now it has been elevated to being fine art. Kaya po naka-frame na yung mga hand embroidery pieces. And of course, the oil paintings are done when I was still doing art. Ngayon po, I'm doing a lot of resolutions na sa pickup. Next. So yeah, I mentioned the brand is in SM Cultura and under the Filipino design. Next, please. It's also available sa Vista Mall in Naga City. I have been invited by Vista Mall to have a space. It's free of rent. We just put a certain percentage of the sales. So we did not concentrate only in making bags. We also do home style, the cushion covers with candelabras and other, the chandelier being hung there is made of hand-woven fabrics. And a lot more. We have pins, but I also forgot to bring senior moments. And we have Filipiniana attire made of ukay, used clothing. Next, please. And the number one component or, medium that I use now is upcycled denim. So we use all the denims that we find in the ukay in the markets. We deconstruct them and save all the pieces and turn them into beautiful things. So those are the women that work. Ay, sorry. Iya ako eh. Kahit hindi halata. So we deconstruct the denim jeans. We save all the parts and turn all these parts into different kinds of beautiful products. Next. I started, of course, as a farmer. Hindi po kaagad nagkaroon ng enterprise. When I was farming in Bao Camarines Sur, I realized that wives of farmers don't have anything to do from the time they plant the crops until the time they harvest. So I thought of teaching them the skills that I have, which was hand embroidery and sewing, and at the same time, I was sending their kids to school. So now, maybe I can count mga more or less 30 students already have graduated from the Bidi Scholarship. And my best example is Christian, who I sent to school in 2010 and now is a principal with the DepEd. So Nakaka-touch po talaga. Of course, all these children, all these kids have already graduated and are now productive citizens of our country. Next. These are the exhibits that I had. This one is, I worked with Francis Nacion from Bulacan, I think. And so you can see that hand embroidery now is not just an artisanal piece. We have done pieces that are hang on galleries. This is particularly in Art Lounge Manila at the podium. And ang mamahal nila. Mahal na sila pag nasa gallery na pala. Ganun ang, I learned it from experience. Next, please. And I show this slide because when you have those labels with your artworks, when you have that orange or red dot, that means sold. So that means my works were sold out for that particular exhibit. And this particular example also is a bag that we do with under the Bidi Bidi brand, but this time it was a collab with Francis Nacion, and his subjects were one-eyed women. Ako naman kompleto yung eyes, dalawa. Siya isa lang. So he asked me if I can make one-eyed women in my bags. So I made that. And as under the Bidi Bidi brand, it is sold at 2,800 per piece. In Kultura, it's sold at 5,000. But in this particular collaboration, it's 15,000 per piece. So limited lang po siya. I only made 17 pieces and it sold out easily. Hindi ko alam may mga ganun. Hindi ko alam may mga ganun palang mga tao na bumibili ng mamahalin na ano. Okay, next. And so I held another exhibit, 2024, I think. The title is This Is It. So I involve women in my artworks. Hindi lang po ako mag-isa. So I incorporate my oil painting with the embroidery of the women in my community. Next, please. So that was the exhibit at Art Lounge Manila. I am showing this because I got the support of my kababayan, so it makes me proud that my townmates are proud of me. Next. This one is the latest exhibit I did last year. If you can notice that rightmost picture, it's made of denim seams, the ones that you get when you deconstruct your jeans. So I entangled them to portray what happens with our oceans, the seaweeds in our oceans, when we throw garbage in our waterways. So yun po yun, and the faces represent people who are seemingly drowning because of the pollution in our water. So it's an environmental piece. Okay, next. The finished product of that is the one in the middle, together with other artworks that I had in my exhibit entitled Como Caras, Like Faces. Okay, next. Lapit na. So this is my shop in Bao, Camarines Sur. Those are the products that we make. All are incorporated with the hand-embroidered caras, which became iconic and known to the Bidi Bidi brand. All these are handmade. The latest product line I introduced was the footwear, which I call zapatillas. So also they are made of upcycled denim embellished with hand embroidery and the cara. So we also make Filipiniana, modern Filipiniana made of denim bolero, and mostly our bags. Next. That's my farm in Bao, Camarines Sur. It has grown into, I have a piece that is a forest, an orchard which has native fruit-bearing trees, and the structure there is a chapel. I built a chapel so I can go and thank God, be grateful for what I have. It's an ecumenical chapel, so any religion is welcome to adore and give, praise. And also I have a portion at the farm where I planted taro. Known kami sa laing, ang Bicol, di ba? Laing. Local name niya is Katnga, so I have a place where I have planted laing. These are pili trees. A portion was planted with pili trees. Next. Now po, this is a cafe, and I live in an old house. It's an almost a century-old house. So in the ground floor, I have a coffee shop, and it's very artsy. Hindi mo alam kung saan ka magpapapicture kasi halos lahat gusto mong picturean. So the mural is done by me and my staff. All the furnitures also are hand-painted. Why do I do this? Because I want to give livelihood to as many people as possible during the COVID pandemic. Yeah, can you please, next, maybe I can still show. Ay, model si Manay ninyo. So, well, that the thing, why I do this is because hindi lang naman po yung mga payat at matatangkad ang pwedeng gumamit ng aking mga products. Siyempre, yung mga voluptuous, ay pwede rin. Kaya ako mismo ang nagmo-model ng aking mga gawa. At the same time, gusto kong matest kung matibay ba talaga siya. Kasi baka may masira eh. So I want to be able to answer them. And also, we have a policy that if masira ang isang bag na bidi-bidi, you can return it, we can repair. Para walang tapunan. Walang iwanan. Next. So we also went into jacket, Filipiniana, hoodie, lahat po. Ito pong hoodie na ito, hand-woven ng isang community sa Buhi. Next. Home style, we have the cushion covers and bed covers. Those are hand-embroidered and made of denim jeans, old denim jeans. Lahat po siya ay may kwento. And of course, may kwenta. Next. Next. So, during COVID, yung mga furniture shops sa Bicol, walang bumibili kasi wala namang lumalabas. So what I did, I asked the provincial director of DTI that we go around all the furniture makers, and I bought all the bangko, upuan, lahat, tables, and I asked my staff to hand paint on them with the design. And hindi ko alam kung bakit, but certainly the universe knows, this particular set of chairs, all of them were bought by one farm tourism place in Tarlac. So, lahat po yan nabili, mahigit 100. So, yun namang mga bangko, they become gift pieces kasi pwede siyang conversation piece sa sala. Hindi naman kailangan lahat ganyan. Kahit isa lang nun, maganda ng pag-usapan. Next. And of course, was endorsed by Heart Evangelista. She was the first one to buy a piece during Artefino and posted it on Instagram, which drew a lot of customers to my site. And of course, VP Lenny, a good friend and also an advocate, she promotes also my products. There's a lot of personality who use my product. But I don't have the photo. So all the Miss Universes wear bidi-bidi bags. We have Jolina Magdangal uses my Filipiniana and bags and a lot more. Next. Tapos na. Wag na yan. The following slides, hindi ko na kailangan ipakita. What I wanted to say lang is, because of what I do with Bidi-Bidi Enterprise, a lot of doors opened. So, ganun pala yun. When you work for something or something deeper or more significant than yourself, then a lot of opportunities open for you. So, I got invited to a lot of different countries and to talk about my experience in putting up Bidi-Bidi Enterprise, a social enterprise, and my products got exhibited in a lot of international trade fairs, including the Dubai 2020 Bangkota. So yun lamang po, maraming salamat.
Again, a warm of applause to the amazing and artful Miss Bernadette BDB de los Santos. And now, get ready to be inspired once again. Friends and colleagues, it is my pleasure to introduce our next resource speaker, Ms. Michelle Besagun de la Cruz. She has been serving as Operations Manager of the Casile Ginting Upland Marketing Cooperative since 2015, where she oversees daily operations, financial performance, and strategic direction of the cooperative. Under her leadership, the organization has achieved increased sales, expanded its client base, and created more job opportunities for its members. With extensive experience from Fujitsu and On Semiconductor and a strong commitment to developing her team skills and productivity, she continues to be a driving force in cooperative success. Please join me in warmly welcoming a dedicated farmer leader from Cabuyao, Laguna, Ma'am Michelle De Sagon de la Cruz. A big round of applause.
Isang magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Ako po ay kinakabahan. Actually, it's first time po sa akin. Lagi pong ang filmic, laging may first time sa akin. Ano? So, kahapon din po, sinalang nila ako sa live na radio. So, first live din po yun. So, ngayon po, kung kinakabahan ako, pasensya na po. Ano? Ako po ay talagang, hindi ko po inaasahan na ako po ay magiging isa sa mga speakers na ito. Actually, kanina, masyado po akong na-amaze kay ma'am sa kanyang mga achievement as a babaylan. So again, ako po si Michelle De La Cruz, ang Operation Manager po ng Kasilikinting Aplan Marketing Cooperative. Kami po ay matatagpuan sa Barangay Kasilik, City of Cabuyao, Laguna. Ang aking pong trabaho ay isang manager po ng kooperatiba. Ako rin po ay isang ina, asawa at may 3 anak. Okay, kinakabahan po talaga ako. Sorry po. Okay, so bilang ako po ay isang babaylan leader at tayo po ay nagsa-celebrate ngayon ng Women's Month, marami rin po akong mga challenges na na-encounter while ako po ay na-hire na manager po ng cooperative. So, bali ako po ay galing sa isang pribadong kumpanya bago po ako masangkop sa aming kooperatiba. Anyway, ang kooperatiba po namin ay isang community-based cooperative na ang mga members po ay mga farmers. So, nung ako po ay matigil sa sa company, dahil po ay kinailangan ng pamilya, so kinailangan ko pong tumigil sa pagtatrabaho. Pero sa hindi po inaasahan, bigla pong may offer ang aming cooperative at isa po ako sa kanilang napili para mag-manage ng negosyo ng kooperatiba. So, nung una po ako yung hesitant kasi nga po ay ito ay isang agricultural cooperative. Wala po talaga akong alam pagdating sa pagsasaka kasi po ako po ay lumaki sa bayan. Although ang aking po mga lolo ay mga coffee farmers po talaga. Even my father po. So, kahit po ako'y hesitant, pero sinubukan ko po, tinanggap ko po ang trabahong iyon. Although, ang alam ko po, mayroong masasacrifice kasi tumigil nga po ako sa kumpanya dahil kinailangan akong pamilya. Pero again, andito na naman po ako sa isang commitment. Pero ang isa ko pong naging ano po dito is malapit lang po kasi yung kooperatiba. Actually, nasa barangay lang po namin siya. Kaya tinanggap ko po yung trabaho. Pero again, ang nasacrifice po is yung quality time ko bilang isang ina, bilang isang asawa. Kasi aminin po natin na kahit po tayo nasa bahay, ay talagang ang isip po natin ay trabaho pa rin. So talagang meron po ako ng medyo challenges po pagdating sa bagay na iyon. No? So isa pa po sa mga naging challenges ko noon, kasi po most of aming mga chairman ay mga lalaki. So ako po ay isang babae at bagong-bago sa industriya ng agrikultura. So sabi ko, paano ko mapapatakbo ang isang negosyo na hindi ko naman po alam o wala po akong, kumbaga po, ay experience sa pagiging farmer. Okay. Sorry po. So, sa pagninegosyo po ng kooperatiba, so talaga po ito ay isang agricultural. So, mahirap po para sa akin kasi wala naman po akong alam sa paglulupa. Wala po akong alam kung paano magtanim, paano ko masasabing itong kape na to ay pwede ko nang bilhin bilang ako po ay manager ng kooperatiba. Anyway, kami po ay nagpa-process ng coffee. Ang aming pong brand name is Kape de Cabuyao. Baka po may ilan na pong nakatikim ng aming kape dito. Tapos po ay, syempre, bilang ako po ay babae at ang aking po mga superior ay mga lalaki, naging mahirap din po sa akin na nandun po kasi yung kanilang pag-aalangan na kaya ko po kaya talaga na malayo po kasi sa naging una kong trabaho, ang magiging trabaho ko po sa kooperatiba. So, kailangan ko pong patunayan na bilang babae at bilang isang simpleng may bahay lang dati, ay kaya ko pong magpatakbo ng isang negosyo. So, sa pagpapatakbo po naman ng negosyong ito, maraming dumating po ng mga pagsubok sa akin. Yun nga po ang sinasabi ko kanina na minsan po ay nandun na po ako sa punto na parang gusto ko nang give up. Kasi nga po ay medyo, yun nga, lagi ko pa ulit-ulit po sinasabi, medyo malayo po sa line of work ko before. Pero masasabi ko po ngayon, siguro yung turning point ko po sa buhay ko, yung, sa dami po ng inatinan ko ng seminar na provided po ng ating ng gobyerno, na different government agency, siguro bilang babaeng leader, isa lang po ang aking natutunan. Sa lahat po ng ating hahawakang posisyon o anuman pong larangan ng ating sa kasalukuyan, kailangan po lang natin itong sa puso. Ganun po kasi ang naging kumbaga naging passion ko na po ito. Yung naging trabaho ko po sa co-op, hindi na po siya hindi ko po siya tinitignan as trabaho. Parang ang nangyari po sa akin is more on passion. Nagustuhan ko po talaga ang trabaho ko po sa kooperatiba. At marami po akong pribilehiyo na natanggap bilang ako po ay farmer leader. Kasi dito ko po nakita na posible pala na ang isang simpleng may bahay ay maka-experience ng mga bagay na na-experience ko po dito sa co-op. So, para sa akin po, ang pinakasusi po talaga dito yung sa atin. Yung masasabi natin success is palawakin pa ang kaalaman. Huwag tayong magstay lang sa kung ano yung meron tayo. Lagi po tayong sumubok ng mga maaari pa po nating matutunan. Kagaya po ng nakikita nyo ngayon, ang aming pong co-op, ako po yan. So kami po ay na-picture na sa unang hirit, morning show po ng GMA7. So yung kanina po, yung finalash kanina, yun po ay naman kay Miss Karen Davila ng May Puhunan. So yan po ay talagang hindi ko akalain yung mangyayari po sa aking buhay. Marami pong mga pangyayari na sa isang iglap ay dito po sa pagkasali ko po sa co-op ay naranasan ko. So ako po ay lubos na nagpapasalamat, lalo na po sa PhilMec actually. Ako po ay bilang isang may bahay, hinubog po ako ng PhilMec actually. 2015 po nang ako'y ma-involve sa co-op. At first time din po namin doon nabisita ni Ma'am Helen Martinez na sinabi niya po talaga sa amin that time na ang produkto niyong kape ay hindi masarap. Pero pwede pa nating i-improve. So, yan po. So, sa tulong at pagtsatsaga po ng PhilMec sa amin, ngayon po ay marami na pong bumibisita sa aming kooperatiba. Marami na rin pong achievements na nakakamit po ang aming co-op. Salamat po. Salamat po sa PhilMec. Buong puso po ako nagpapasalamat kasi talagang kayo po ang humubog sa akin. Hindi niyo po ako binitawan. Yan, sila Ma'am Ivy po. Yan. Sila po ang nagtsatsaga sa akin. At lagi po nga first time, sila lagi nagsasabi sa akin na, sige, kaya mo yan, i-push mo yan. So maraming salamat po. And yun lamang po, ako po ay proud babaylan. Salamat po.
What an insightful and inspiring sharing from the empowering manager herself, Miss Michelle de Sagun de la Cruz. Now, let us hear from another remarkable woman who is making her mark in her own field. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce our distinguished resource speaker, Rogerine. She is a leader in innovation, policy development, and entrepreneurship with over a decade of experience driving transformative initiatives across the public sector and startup ecosystem. She played a key role in shaping the Philippine National Innovation Agenda and Strategy and previously served at the National Innovation Council under NEDA. A design futurist, social entrepreneur, and innovator, she co-founded ventures such as Gorilla Bags and Company and eCompanion, reflecting her commitment to impactful and forward-thinking solutions. A Chevening scholar, she holds a master's degree from Brunel University, London, and graduated magna cum laude from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming a catalyst for innovation and impact, Rogerine Miguel Irvine.
Good morning, everyone. I just like to start by commending the GAD team of PhilMec for putting this amazing event together. Palakpakan naman po natin ang GAD team. And I'm so surprised and very happy that the GAD Execom chair, si Sir Nelson, ay isang lalaki. And it's so good to see men participants here in this event. It just shows the PhilMec support to women in our workplace. So, good morning everyone. Palakpakan natin sila. So I always start my presentation with a declaration. So this is not something magical, but I hope you won't find it cliche, no? But if you can just follow me, I am a history maker, a nation transformer, and a world changer. Sige po, gusto kong ulitin kasi parang hindi nyo naman naramdaman. Gusto ko yung i-internalize nyo sa sarili nyo, okay? So for the final time, let's repeat it again. I am a history maker, a nation transformer, and a world changer. You know what? That's not just a chant. It's actually called mental conditioning. And a lot of champion people in sports, and even Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps, he spends hours not doing training, no, but just imagining his success before he swims. So he'll just go inside the pool. He doesn't do training or anything, but he just imagines in his head swimming, winning, swimming, winning. Why? Because everything starts here in the mind. And it's very important that you set a vision and imagine it happen in front of you, because it's important that you know wholeheartedly what you want to happen so that every beat of your cell will work together to do it with you. I am Rogerine Miguel Irvine, policy strategist, design futurist, and public sector innovator in practice. And I grew up here in Muñoz, sa isang maliit na barangay po sa kabukiran ng Barangay Rangayan. At doon po ako lumaki, and I would say it's not even simple, but it's poor. And I grew up mahiyain because of the kind of, sa kinalakihan, no? Mahiyain po ako. And when I entered University of the Philippines in Diliman, I get very easily intimidated by those who speak English. Yung mga konyo English po, I get very easily intimidated. They speak very fluently. And it doesn't help that after 10 years po pala, I would marry a British guy. Next. It doesn't help. So parang minsan po, pag hirap na akong yes po, kasama po ako sa mga Fly High Pinay. Sa mga AFAM sagot sa kahirapan. You know what? Our marriage is very simple. Sabi ko nga po, alam niyo po, hindi ko po siya inaaway. sa kadahilan ng ang hirap pong mang-away in English. So talaga pong it's very peaceful at home, no po? So next photo, sorry. So my journey as a woman is just like everyone else. That I have to work ×3 to be on the same pace as my men counterpart, especially in the data and innovation industry where it's still clearly dominated by men. And you know, while I was doing this talk, I came across this photo that I posted like 4 years ago. Next. So this is a photo like taken in Seoul, Korea during Smart Cities Convention with innovation country leaders in Asia. And this was funny story because they thought I was just a lost student, high school student po. So obviously I'm the smallest, and obviously I'm the only woman. But sabi po ni Beyonce, who run the world? Girls! So on the next one, yeah, so this was an event where I was invited as keynote and shared a stage as panelist with history-making women. On my right is his history maker po siya. She's the first ever women spokesperson of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. So you would always see her in television doing interviews. And then on my left, kilala niyo po siya? Arbony Gabriel. Ay, gusto ko yan. Alam niyo po, si Arbony Gabriel is the crowned Miss Universe in 2022. And kagaya po ng ilan sa atin, hindi ko din po siya kilala during that event. But ang kilala natin, Catriona Gray, Pia Wurtzbach, yung mga Miss Philippines na po. But apparently, si Miss Arbony is half Filipino, half American. But she represented Miss USA, but she won and she was crowned Miss Universe 2022. And during that event, she was like, "Hi, Rog, how are you?" And I was like, ang ganda naman ito, pero hindi ko siya kilala. And I was like, "Hi, how are you?" But I didn't really know her. Diba? Parang the audacity of the taga-pilapil ng Muñoz to not know. And during this time, all audience were Miss Universe titles, beauty queens, artistas, country leaders. Alam niyo po, I have never been so insecure of my own skin that time. I only wear my Avon blush during that time. O, di ba? Mga Gen Z, hindi nyo na alam yung Avon. And next photo. So this photo was, this is the local governance summit attended by public officials in the country. So it's a high-level event attended by mayors and governors from all of the municipalities and provincials in the country. So it's a very strategic event to actually make an influence. But hindi ka po, the speakership, mahirap makuha ang speakership unless dapat you're a secretary level or you're secretary level or you're an ambassador. And at one point or another, this Pilapil girl from Muñoz was able to get a spot as one of the 6 speakers for the opening. And together with me, I found myself, this, the first speaker was President Bongbong Marcos, followed by then Secretary Benjamin Abalos. And ako po yung sumunod. Sino po bang manginginig kapag ikaw ang susunod sa ganyan? Ano po? And then I found myself talking about how do we innovate the country and how do we use data, insights, and integrity as our weapon. And every time that I would stand up in these kinds of events, I always wonder, do I belong here? Do I belong here? I am but that little girl from the Pilapil of Barangay Rangayan, Muñoz. I am not white enough. I am not a daughter of rich parents. Do I belong here? And if you ever question that too, I want you to answer, yes, I belong here. And you need to take up your space, and you need to really own it. And I'm speaking on behalf of all the women here today, saying you are so much more than who you think you are. I fell in love with social innovation, the kind that helps our poor communities rise. And at 19 years old, that's why I resonate so much with Executive Director BD, because I worked with communities as well, hand-weaving communities to revive Filipino traditional fabric. You know, I have so much fascination with hand-woven fabric. Ano po, kasi it talks a lot about Filipino culture. Every patterns, you know, every colors there talks about our culture. But with the influx of China-made products, which are way cheaper, it's a lot of cooperatives and hand-weaving communities are closing down already. And I knew that they needed to innovate to keep up. And so during that time, I was a teenager, 19 years old. I was studying in in UP, that's in Quezon City. And so I have to travel back and forth for my passion project in Ilocos. And I travel and help them upskill and improve their products and design. And you know, as a teenager, you wouldn't find me in my phone. And my friends would know this, and my family would know this. Ako po yung makulit na bata na kung saan-saan. Yung ako po yung sakit ng ulo ng aking mga magulang kasi minsan hindi nila alam kung nasan ako. But I love being in rural communities. And our social enterprise is being sold here and abroad as well, and we are earning and getting awards and recognition. But then I have realizations. There's awards, there are recognitions, and then I thought that 21st century development work has a lot of distractions, like awards, media, popularity, and recognition that can make you lose track as a leader. Because I always believe that attention and all this recognition without proper heart calibration could ruin your purpose and your inner why. But don't get me wrong, because awards are good. Awards are good. Just make sure that our hearts are ready and has the right motives, because it's very dangerous when these things have become our fuel, only fuel in what we do. Then came a calling that I never expected. This was 2020. What's happening in 2020? Pandemic time. And during that time, I was taking my master's in London and almost finishing it during that time. And then the office of the DepDev, Department of Economy, Planning and Development, before it was NEDA, called me and informed me that one of the bills that I was championing before was passed into law, and that was the Philippine Innovations Act. It's a flagship law. So it was a flagship law to innovate the government, to innovate governance, the whole country, and the ecosystem. And it was an opportunity open to me to innovate, not just my small community, but to innovate the whole country. And the office is directly chaired by the President of the Philippines. And they told me, we need someone to lead the implementation of the law, and you are the perfect person. And with that role, I found myself, so I came home, I found myself in Malacanang Palace working with the President and almost all of the cabinet secretaries and private sector representatives to shape our innovation policy for the country. Alam po natin how mostly manual our services are. Ano po? And para kumuha ka ng ID, ano yung requirement mo? Kailangan mo ng ID, di ba? Kaya nga kukuha kasi wala kang ID, pero yun yung requirement. And we have to line up to every single thing that we have, the documents that we have to get. And we know, especially in the admin people here would know how unsupportive the procurement process is, unsupportive to innovations, and how some of the policies doesn't seem to make sense. Ano po, parang iisipin na lang natin, does these policymakers know where the masses are coming from? Alam ba nila yung pains and yung itch natin? And I just want to show the next photo. It's the need for better designs. Nakita nyo na po ito, marahil sa mga balita. Yung PWD po access sa Manila, na hindi po ganyan papaganon po. Kahit na meron kang mga paa, madudulas ka pa rin. Nakakamatay po. And then, alam nyo naman po yung Mount Kamuning. Yung sa Kamuning, Naku po, sobrang hirap. And then yung mga ayuda natin na talagang pagmumukain kang pobreng-pobre para makuha po natin yung delata tsaka yung 2 Lucky Me noodles. And then all of these things and pains and each together, I wrote down as I authored the first of its kind National Innovation Roadmap. It's the whole country's 10-year blueprint and strategy for innovations. So it was really such a very strategic position to make a change and impact in the whole country. However, journey isn't easy. Kasi po, people doesn't want young women to lead. People doesn't want passionate women in leadership. Kasi it's only for men. And leading people who were twice as old as you, who've been in the government for 20 to 30 years, and who are you to make a change? You just came here. But you know, even when there are eyebrows that are raised, still always do the right thing with integrity. And I just want to show this last photo before I end. What do you see? Merong parang caveman po, na nagtutulak. Makikita niyo po siya. Humihila po sila ng mga, what seems like to be heavy boulders. Nakita niyo po yung wheel. It's a square wheel. And then someone's offering them circle wheel. Ano pong sabi nila? No thanks. We are too busy. And you know what? Guilty po tayo dito as public sectors kasi po sobrang busy natin. Sobrang dami po nating ginagawa. And there's no more time for innovations talaga. But you know what I learned in the startup sector from the entrepreneurship and the private sector? You only have 2 options. It's to disrupt or be disrupted. It's to innovate or be in the oblivion of obsolescence. You will be obsolete. And you know, it's the same thing in the public sector as well. And that's why I always say, in the public sector, it's a sin to not innovate. We really owe it to the people. And I would like to end with a very personal story 2 years ago. 2 years ago, while I was doing all these things, I felt pain on my left side of my body. Ito po sa ulo. I felt pain, I felt fatigue, dito sa aking ulo, and it goes down here sa aking shoulder. And medyo hindi ko po siya maigalaw. And then I went to the hospital, and then sabi nila, you have to do, urgently, you have to do scans and x-rays. And then during that time, just to cut the story short, no, they found a hole in my skull as big as a 5-peso coin. And because I have high tolerance to pain, it really never bothered me until it was big already. It was in this part of my face. And for the 2 years, for the past 2 years, every week, I have to be in the hospital. Every single week, I didn't miss that. For check-up, for change dressing, for cleaning it, for all those things. And you know what? It's confusing me and it's very frustrating. But you know, when you're sick pala, ang dami mong nagiging reflection sa buhay. Mas malalim ka sa pagtingin mo sa buhay. And then during that time, you know, I knew, alam mo, walang kwenta yung kung saan ka graduate, walang kwenta yung mga community, yung mga kung sino ba yung mga friends mo and all those things, mga na-achieve mo sa buhay. It just disappears. And during that time, alam niyo po kung sino lang yung kasama ko. Holding my hand, it's my family. My husband, my brothers, sisters, my mom and dad. And then I realized we start with family, and we will always end with family. Family is not just blood-related, but it could be who you consider as family. And I hope you realize that in this life, that you realize how short this life is. And with the limited time that we have, may you have the wisdom to know what is important, what is not as important, and what is a waste of time. And I'm gonna repeat that again so that it will sink in. In this life, I hope that you would realize what is important, what is not as important, and what is a waste of time. I know as men and women, we hold, alam niyo yan, secret struggles. And especially women. Kasi women, they carry villages and not just family, but villages. And God knows a lot of like secret struggles in my heart na siya lang yung nakakaalam. But you know what? For women, all those secret struggles, no matter how cliche it may seem, all those tears are never in vain because God sees. And as my conclusion, you know what I learned over the years? That power is not about being above others, but it's about lifting others up. It's not about proving that you're better, but it's about showing others that they can shine too. Because real empowered women empower women. So my question is, what does it take to be bold, brave, and beautiful woman? It's not found in fancy dresses and bright jewelries. Not in her skin tone, body shape and size, or the diploma and awards she's gained. And not even in the breathtaking places she's been to. No. The real beauty of a woman comes here. Because inside, that's the heart. And her love for God and for people. Nothing more. And remember that your heart is what will set you apart. Again, in this world where people wants to become the next Mark Zuckerberg, the next Bill Gates, the next millionaire and billionaire, a Filipina wants to affect change in her community, and she brings everyone with her. And it's okay to be rich, it's okay to be famous, but changing this country one step at a time is a lot more exciting. Good morning, everyone.
And that was an inspiriting talk from the emboldening woman, Ms. Rogerine Miguel Irvine. And now, we invite everyone to watch the video highlights of the recently concluded We concert. At this juncture, we will be having a 5-minute health break. Kindly return to your seat at exactly 10:06 for our couch Q&A. Thank you very much. We encourage everyone to share your questions for our resource speakers as we engage in meaningful and insightful conversations.
magdesisyon. Ang bagong sa ekonomiya ay hindi na iba. Hindi na iba sa aming kalalakihan. Isigaw sa maglambayan ang iyong kakayahan. Sa kaunlaran na kayang iyong maiambag. Ika'y dito dapat bigyan ng
Sa
karangalan.
tibay mo't husay, talisay kang tunay. May taglading kamangha-mangha. Kamangha-mangha talaga, Juana. Di ka kukupas dahil ikaw ay
Sound, sound. Sound.
sinapupunan. Ikaw may karapatang magdesisyon. Ang bagong sa ekonomiya ay hindi na iba. Hindi na iba sa aming kalalakihan. Isigaw sa maglambayan ang iyong kakayahan. Sa kaunlaran na kayang iyong maiambag. Ika'y dito dapat bigyan ng karangalan.
Sa tibay mo pusay, talisay kang tunay. May taglading kamangha-mangha. Kamangha-mangha talaga, Juana. Di ka kukupas dahil ikaw ay
up for our couch Q&A session. So, we encourage everyone, to our participants, na kung meron po kayong mga katanungan or nais sabihin or any insight sa ating mga napakinggan sa araw na ito, ay please do so. So ang ating microphone ay nandyan lamang po sa ating pong area. So kung meron po kayong katanungan ay huwag po tayong mahihiya dahil ito po ang perfect timing na masagot ang ating questions. Lalong-lalo na ang mga sagot na ito ay manggagaling sa ating talaga na mga babaylands of our era today. Ayan. So, meron po, ayan. So, sa ating po mga speakers, Ma'am Bernadette, Ma'am Rog, Ma'am Michelle. So, we have a question coming from Ma'am Elaine. Ayan. Miss Grace, sorry po. Kay Miss Grace, andun po siya sa may bandang gilid.
Good morning po sa ating lahat. So ako po si Grace Gawiran from FMFOD. So salamat po sa ating mga speakers for today. Tunay po na nakaka-inspire ang inyong mga buhay. So ang aking pong katanungan ay para po kay Director Bernadette.
Directed.
Ma'am, tunay po na napakaganda ng inyong journey from being an artist to being public servant. Ang tanong ko po, ma'am, ano po yung biggest challenge na na-encounter ninyo at paano ninyo ito nalampasan?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Diba? Maraming challenges sa pagiging social entrepreneur. Una na doon yung dynamics ng mga tao. Kasi dahil if you notice sa mga products ko, lahat sila by hand. So hindi mo talaga sila mapipilit. So for example, Kultura orders from us, palagi akong humihingi ng extension because we don't make embroidery by machine or by computer as made in China nga. So, naiintindihan naman nila ito. And being based in Bicol, ang isang challenge din as a farmer and an entrepreneur ay yung weather sa amin sa Bicol. Kasi palagi kaming binibisita ng mga bagyo na may mga pangalan from A to Z. So, walang palta, walang ano doon, walang absent, lahat present. So, but we have to live with that. I cannot do anything to change the weather. So we adapt. Like for example, in 2024, we got visited by Super Typhoon Christine, kung saan pinasok yung shop ko, yung bahay ko, chest deep. So after that, ang daming losses, ang daming materials na sira, mga machine, mga sewing machine. So we transferred our production area doon na sa farm kasi medyo mataas yun, hindi inaabot ng baha. Yun namang sa tungkol sa mga tao, kasi nga wala naman silang quota, wala silang target. They just do embroidery at their own pace. Hindi ko sila binibigyan ng pressure. Ang downside nun is dahil walang pressure, they just do whatever they want to do. So, meron lang pressure kaunti pag may order na malaki, kagaya ng orders ng Kultura. So, ang ginagawa ko naman nun, I give incentives. So, and you know, when you send their kids to school, I think that's incentive enough. But for some mothers, it's not enough, so I still give monetary incentives aside from that, aside from sending their kids to school. So we have a lot of ways to meet the challenges that we face, being a farmer in Bicol and also being a social entrepreneur also in Bicol. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Badet, for your answer. Another question coming from our participants. Coming from Ma'am Elaine.
Hello. Yes, good morning everyone. I-share ko lang yung journey ko sa pag-attend nitong We Talk. Actually, hindi ako official participants na pagsarhan ako. Kaya pala nag-insist ako na umattend kahit wala akong merienda for today. Kasi sabi nila, pag nag-exceed daw dun sa target na participants, wala nang merienda. Pero okay lang, kasi ang dami ko namang natutunan, punong-puno naman. Na-inspire naman akong masyado, kaya pala nagpupumilit akong umattend. So, ang question ko po ay para kay Ma'am Michelle. So, Ma'am Michelle, when we say leader, Filipino culture, lalaki. Pero in your case, babae ka, pero minanage mo yung isang co-op. So, paano ang ginawa mo para ma-earn yung trust and respect ng iyong kasama?
Again, thank you for that question. Actually, nahubog po ako eh. Siguro po yung malaking bagay sa akin yung mga inatenan kong seminars sa mga government agency. So, doon po ako natuto doon sa, hindi lang po sa in terms of managing, natuto rin po ako ano yung binamanage ko. So, kailangan po kasi sa akin po, personal po, kailangan alam ko mula po sa, kumbaga sa amin po, sa aming mga farmer, mula sa pagtatanim hanggang sa pagpuproseso bago mo siya dalhin sa market. So, dapat alam mo po yun. So, sa akin po, personal, malaking bagay po talaga yung mga natutunan ko sa mga training. So, salamat po, government agency. Yun lang po.
Yan. Thank you so much, Miss Michelle. Indeed po, women na kailangan ng technical skills sa kanila pong ginagawa. Pero kung makikita po natin, women pour their hearts po talaga sa kung ano man pong craft na ginagawa po natin. Ayan. So, any more questions po sa ating participants? Alam ko po ay marami po kayong tanong para sa ating mga resource speakers. Kaya naman po ay wag po tayong mahihiya. Ayan. We have another question po coming from Miss Elaine din po, Ayan po.
Yes po, so before my question, I would like just po to thank our speakers. It's really empowering and inspiring po yung shinare nyo po sa amin dito sa PhilMec. So, my question po is actually a bit personal, but maybe I'd really love to hear your insights and thoughts po. So, I come from a faith perspective na traditional po yung leadership. So, I'm curious po if how do you and your partner or your husbands po in the family practice leadership, lalo na po if both of the individuals ay strong sa fields po ninyo? Anyone can answer po if...
The question is, how do we manage share between husband and wife in terms of leadership, in terms of your faith, because you're coming from the faith perspective. Kasi, yeah, I mean, in the perspective of the point of view, it's actually patriarchal. But in terms of biblical, because you're coming from the faith perspective, as you mentioned, so I'm gonna answer it at that perspective as well. In the Bible, actually, God said, love your wife. And then for the women, submit to your husbands. You know what? What's actually a harder thing to do? What's harder there? It's actually to love. To love your wife. And actually, the call is to die. In the Bible, it says to die like how Christ died for the church. And the church there is, para tayong nasa church, no? And the church there is actually, is the wife, right? So the men, you have bigger role to actually really giving your life to women in that perspective. So, and I love it that, in the Bible, God talks about women as something that gives, it's not just a supportive role, what says in the Bible. It's more of hinahalin tulad niya ang sarili niya into women, which is not just support, but the word is support, but it means like a helping hand. Pero that helping hand is a different sense, because God also said to Israel, di ba, I will be your helping hand. So it means women are parang hinahalin tulad ng God yung self niya into that kind of helping hand. So our role is really big. It's not just a supportive role, but it's actually as God, the similarities of how He upholds. So yun. That's actually a very hard question.
Ayan. So sa ating pong ibang resource person, baka meron po kayong ibang insight, Ma'am Badette or
I
Ma'am
didn't
Michelle?
expect that. Dapat pala nagbasa muna ako ng Bible kasi from the perspective.
Ayan. Next question from Miss Mary Jane.
Hello po, good morning po. Thank you so much po for our great speakers for sharing us their amazing stories. Ang question ko po ay para kay Ma'am Bernadette po. Ayan. Ma'am, paano po ba namin maisa sa buhay ang pagiging isang babaylan in our own simple ways lang po, kahit sa work or sa amin pong daily life?
Hirap naman nun. Mas mahirap yata yun.
Parang ang hirap lahat ng questions.
Ang hirap pa, parang Miss Universe lang ang peg. Well, yeah. Ababaylan, di ba? Healer, a leader. Ihalin tulad ko na lang po sa aking role as the executive director of PICAF. Kasi po, hindi naman po talaga ako government person. Like what I have presented, artist ako, bigla na lang akong pinulot sa Bicol at ilinagay dito sa Quezon City. And it's a totally different environment. So now I see a lot of conflicts sa mga ideas, na meron kang gustong baguhin, may resistance, yung ganon. As a babaylan, I think you have to show your strength, not just by having the loudest voice in the room, but also having the widest perspective among the people in the room. Kasi in-entrust naman ito sa atin, not just being a director, being as you are sa ating agency, in-entrust ito sa atin kasi meron nga tayong kakayahan as a babaylan to nurture. Hindi yung victim persona. Kailangan leader ka, at the same time, you show them that you have a heart that can nurture even when they have their differences. Para kang referee. Lahat na roles na yata pwede mong gawin as a babaylan eh. Yun ang kakayahan na ibinigay sa atin, being a woman also. Yes. Salamat po.
Thank you, Ms. Bernadette, for answering Ms. Mary Jane's question. And we have another question from our participant.
Ayan po, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Maraming salamat po sa mga speaker po natin sa kanilang mga very inspiring na stories po. Question ko po ay para po kay Ma'am Roj. Ma'am Roj, bali po, with everything you've been through po sa career, sa leadership po, and especially po dun sa health challenges po na nabanggit niyo po kanina, paano niyo po ma'am nababalance po yung purpose niyo po, yung work and sa family po?
I think you have, sabi ko nga, parang napaka-existential ng mga tanong natin, no? But it's very, very challenging. But it will boil down to your inner why. Kasi sabi ko nga, know what's important, what's not as important, and what's a waste of time. And so you should know, are these things, or even in your circles, you have to know the circles that will help you, that will push you to those things that are important. So it's very, very, and to prioritize. Alam naman po natin as well in the government sector, na we have so many things to do, there's so little time, there's so little resources. And then when we think of things, we have to be very strategic. And coming from the perspective of in the national government, in the bird's eye view level, I see as well in my professional career, especially in innovations in the government, na we're not starting off from scratch in terms of innovations. Pero it's very fragmented because different agencies are doing it and all these things and all. But with too little time and too little resources, we have to be very strategic and we have to prioritize. I think it would all boil down to, kasi ako, I don't do things, that doesn't resonate with my vision. If it doesn't resonate with me, I would say no. So very particular ako, especially when speaking engagements. I curate the speaking engagements, and specifically, I'm very, very happy to be here in Filmex. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Miss Raj. I hope nasagot po ni Miss Raj ang inyo pong katanungan. Anyone from our participants? From Miss Christine Elaine.
Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Cristinea Elaine Latonio. And maraming salamat po sa mga speakers natin today, sa mga empowering message nyo po sa aming lahat. Ang tanong ko po ay for Miss Rogerine. First of all, Miss Rogerine, your fashion style today is very gorgeous like you.
Love ko na talaga dito. Kailan ulit yung next speaking?
Okay, ang tanong ko po ma'am ay, agricultural engineer po ako and bilang isang babae sa isang male-dominant field, ano po yung ma-advise niyo po sa amin para mas maging confident and respected in leadership roles?
I think more importantly, we wear fashion, si ma'am, very fashionable. What's more important is what's on the inside. And what you have to invest more onto are not on the clothes, not on the makeup, but your character. And that will really show eh. It should show na from the inside out. We will gain respect not because we are a woman. We will gain respect because magaling tayong magsalita. But we will gain respect because they know that we live what we speak. And that's what's most important.
I hope everyone is reminded doon po sa sagot ni Ma'am Raj. Lalong-lalo na po dito sa Philmec ay ang amin po talagang industry ay male-dominated po talaga. Ayan. So any more questions? Ayan, meron po tayong question dito from Miss Rosalie Feliciano.
Yes po. Maraming salamat po sa ating mga powerful speakers ngayon. Napaka-blessed namin and honor to be na maging speaker po namin kayo. Iba-iba yung mga journey na inyong na-share sa amin. Si Director DB ay from a public servant artist siya. Ganda ng journey ng na-share niya. And si Ma'am from kababayan ng Tigamuños, si Ma'am Rhodes, innovator, entrepreneur, and si Ma'am Michelle, isang farmer leader. Ang tanong ko para po sa inyong tatlo. So, iba-iba yung journey, iba-iba yung inyong mga napagdaanan. Kung babalikan nyo po yung inyong pagkabata, so, kung meron kayong tanong sa inyong sarili, ano yon? Ano yung itatanong nyo sa inyong sarili? Kung babalikan nyo yung inyong pinagdaanan from younger sa ngayon po. Ano pong itatanong nyo sa sarili nyo? Kung
ano daw po ang inyo pong itatanong sa inyong younger self?
Yes.
Ayan. Mula sa napagdaanan nyo na po ngayon. So everyone ng ating mga speakers po ay sasagot sa katanungan ni Ma'am Rosalie. So sino po sa inyo mauuna?
Actually, para sa akin lang yata yun. Yung pagbabalik sa kabataan. Anong itatanong ko sa sarili ko? To my younger
anong
self?
i-advise nyo po sa younger self nyo po?
Okay. Kasi when I was a kid, siguro para tayo, sutil ako. Hindi ako sumusunod sa magulang ko. Pero parang mabuti rin yun. Kasi I was able to find myself. Kasi pag sumusunod ka palagi, syempre well-meaning ang mga magulang natin, di ba? In fact, that happened to me. I wanted to take fine arts in college. Ayaw niya na sa UP ako. Kasi that time, pag nag-UP ka, NPA ka. Nung panahon ko, sa 80s. Very discriminating ang question mo, Sally, ha? Talaga. So, pumasa ako sa UP and Ateneo. Mas gusto ng mother ko sa Ateneo. Kaya hindi ako nag-UP. Kasi magiging sa ugali ko na sutil nga, sigurado siya na magiging akong NPA. Pero doon sa yon, I followed her. Nag-aral ako sa Ateneo. And nung free na ako, free meaning I was earning already, I went back to art. nagpaint ulit ako at the age of 40. 41 pa lang naman ako ngayon. So, ganon. I'm not saying don't obey your parents, no? What I'm saying is, if meron kayong mga ganong kids, they're trying to find themselves. Okay lang naman siguro yon because this is how I turned out. I was asked the other day in Bacolod, nung sister principal, sabi niya, paano kaya kung pag-aral ka ng mama mo ng fine arts? Sabi ko, maybe I could have been a better painter or artist. But this is the best version. So, it's not, it's not the diplomas that you get. It's the experiences in life that mold you to become who you really are at the later part of your journey. Yung youth ko, bahala na.
Sa akin naman po siguro, pinakasimple kasi sila masyadong komplikado at magagaling itong mga katabi ko. Ano po? Opo. Siguro po, masasabi ko po nung younger version ko po is just enjoy life. Kasi po ay pag nasa ganitong edad ka na, nandun na po pala talaga yung totoong hamon ng buhay. So, yung being young, enjoy mo lang. Siguro, yung self ko before, kasi gano'n naman ako, palagay ko na-enjoy ko po nung kabataan ko. Kasi ngayon, parang gustuhin ko man mag-enjoy, hindi na pwede dahil, although ginagawa pa rin, may mga side pa rin, pero iba na talaga pag nasa age na pala tayo ng sabi natin ay parenting or kailangan mo ng kumayod para sa pamilya. Yun lamang. Salamat po.
Kaya pala inunahan mo ko, ma'am. Alam mong parehas tayo ng sagot. Ang sagot ko lang will be, are you joyful to who you have become? Alam nyo, nung mga 20s, sino dito yung mga 20s na laban sa buhay? Yung in-achieve na yung buong buhay. Alam nyo po, medyo ganun ako ng 20. Parang sabi ko, rarasis mo ba kaya kung baguhin yung mundo? Ganong level. Lalo na pagka after mo graduate. And then yung realization would hit you. Like, you're just but a one woman. And not just a one woman, no? Or not just a one man. But it takes one heart at a time to really change this nation, to really change this country. And for me, being joyful is very important to everything that I do. I need to feel joy. Alam nyo, kasi dati talagang laban na laban ako sa mundo, pero as you age, hindi pa naman tayo ganun katanda. Grabe na. Wala, age talaga eh. Pero parang mas nag-i-increase yung edad mo. Paano bang pas patadaliin yun? You realize how short time is. And like, kailangan mo talagang piliin yung mga kailangan mong gawin. But at the end of the day, you have to be joyful. And it's not about work, achieve, but it's slowing down and appreciating. Alam nyo, na-appreciate ko yung bulaklak na makita ko, na-appreciate ko that I can feel the air. Especially, alam mo, pag may pinagdaanan ka sa buhay, mas nakikita mo. Yung alon lang, grabe, umiyak ako minsan sa alon kasi ang ganda-ganda. And that's the kind of appreciation we should have, no, in this short life.
Thank you so much to our speakers. At syempre po sa ating lahat na talaga namang laban na laban din po sa buhay. At syempre po ay patuloy ang work, ay talaga pong sana po ay mag-resonate sa ating mga puso yung mga sagot po ng ating mga resource speaker. So, meron pa po ba tayong questions? I think meron pa. May mga questions pa talaga ang ating mga participants.
Good morning po sa ating lahat. And maraming salamat po sa mga speakers natin ngayong umaga. At ang tanong ko po ay for Ma'am Michelle. Bali, siya po ay nag-work from private, tapos pinili niya or kinailangan na magstay siya sa house and then may tawag ulit ng trabaho sa co-op naman. At nabanggit niya din na siyempre po, from private, iba yung trabaho niya, and then napunta siya sa co-op na ibang-iba yung work. At naging daan yung passion para magawa niya kung ano yung dapat niyang gawin. And sa mga challenges po na kinaharap ni Ma'am Michelle, with all those challenges na kinaharap niyo po, paano niyo po napanatili yung passion niyo po? Kasi made-distract pagka may mga challenges, yung mga ganun po.
Actually, sa akin napaka-simple lang na sagot. Love your work. Kasi pag talaga inaral, kumbaga sinabuhay mo yung araw-araw mong trabaho, palagi ko madali na or kumbaga madali na nating ma-achieve kung ano yung ating nilalayon. So, sa akin, siguro nga yun, bumabalik lang ako palagi dun sa passion. Passion sa trabaho, passion sa pamilya. So, lagi lang yun ang nasa isip ko para sa araw-araw, ano man ang aking trabahuhin, ano man ang maging kaharap ko na challenges sa aking trabaho, lagi ko lang pinag-aaralan at lagi isinasa puso lang para ma-solve, magawa ng paraan, ano man ang maging challenges sa araw-araw. So,
Thank you very much, Ma'am Michelle. Napakaganda po ng inyo pong sagot. Ayan. Yan, we have a question po. Ayan, meron po nagtataas ng kanyang kamay dito.
Alright, good morning and thank you ladies for your amazing individual stories. I am Ram. Ito pong tanong ko po ay kay Miss Michelle. Bali, you are a manager po and yung mga kasama niyo po ay kalalakihan, no? And you told us kanina na medyo may struggle. So this time po ay kailan niyo po nasabi sa sarili niyo na I got this, kaya ko to, hindi lang isang babae kasi kaya ko to bilang babae ako, parang ganun.
Okay, so siguro actually 10 years na po ako sa kooperatiba. So by this time po, siguro marami na rin tayong napatunayan bilang leader ng kooperatiba. Kasi po ay ikwento ko lang po ng bahagya, ang aming pong co-op before, bago po ako ma-involve, kami po ay walang sariling lote. Ang co-op po namin noon ay nakikipamahay lang sa aming dating chairman. Pero sa akin po personal, parang hindi ako masaya na ang aming co-op ay parang walang improvement. So, to make it short, sa ngayon po, sa pagsusumikap po ng inyong lingkod, at sa tulong na rin po ng staff, ng mga officers po ng aming kooperatiba, ngayon po meron na po kami sariling lote. Ang kooperatiba na meron na rin pong building, processing center, as in buo na po. Siguro po ito po ay isa sa aking, sabihin natin, achievement as co-op manager. Sa akin po talaga tinrabaho, binigyan ng focus para po yung mga ganitong bagay po ay maibigay ko ng buong puso sa aming kooperatiba.
Thank you so much, Miss Michelle. Ayan. We have more questions pa po sa ating participants. Ayan, so para kung mapapansin niyo po kanina, puro kababaihan po yung nagtatanong. So ngayon parang meron tayong mga gentlemen naman na mga nagtatanong ngayon para sa ating mga resource person. So we have Engineer Earl na magtatanong po sa atin, sa ating po mga resource speaker.
Ay, hello, good morning. Ayaw niya. Ay, good morning po ulit sa ating lahat. Ang question ko po ay para kay Ms. Rog. Sa pagpasa po ng Philippine Innovation Act, ay parang ito po ay nag-encourage sa ating, halala sa government na mag-go towards data-driven governance. Ang isang tanong po sana is, lalo na po sa mga LGU na medyo meron pa ring deference to seniority, ano po yung isang malaking balakid po para ito ay, kumbaga ma-implement din sa LGU level? Yung parang hindi po, kasi pagka sinabi mong data-driven governance, parang laging may numbers. So, hindi na tulad ng parang, di, tama yung ginagawa ko at sumunod ka na lang. So, how can we encourage, lalo na sa mga young professionals na nasa LGU, na gamitin yung parang ino-offer na parang power ng Philippine Innovation Act?
how do we encourage? Actually, the word innovations, actually, it's a buzzword in the Philippines now. Everyone wants to innovate. Everyone talks about, there's like innovation summit and all those things. But sometimes, parang ano siya eh, it's a highfalutin word na it's in ivory tower. What does it really mean to innovate? And that right now, currently, people talks about artificial intelligence, that artificial intelligence will displace your job and things, which it's also true. But from the grassroots perspective, sa mga farmers, explain mo sa kanila, ano ba yung artificial intelligence and what's in it for them? And so it's very important that we laymanize this term, nabababa tayo talaga from the ground. And how do we involve the people? We involve them in the design process. You know why a lot of policies now doesn't work? Alam niyo yung mga, bakit ganito yung mga polisiya? Bakit parang hindi pinag-isipan? Bakit parang from the ivory tower yung gumawa ng policy? And what's wrong with that? It's because the policymakers, those from the up, lacks empathy. And that's one thing. That's why I really push and I advocate design thinking as a tool. And I talk about design thinking a lot in different offices because it's very important for public sector to really think how your end users think, no? So you have to be able to design it with the people. Kaya minsan ang daming mga data and governance project na hindi nagagawa because the people who's gonna use it are not involved in the process. And that's how we're gonna encourage them. Include them in the ideation process, in the design process.
Ayan. Thank you so much, Ms. Rog. So, yung pong sagot po ninyo ay talagang ia-apply po siguro namin sa aming po mga daily na trabaho, lalong-lalo na we cater po ang aming mga farmers at yung po mga kinakailangan nilang technologies. Thank you very much. So, to our participants, baka meron pa po tayong tanong, wag po tayong mahihiya. Ayan, meron pa po tayo dito. Talagang maraming mga katanungan para sa ating mga resource speakers. Susulitin na po natin sila today. Ano po?
Ayan. Good morning po to everyone. Good morning po to our speakers. Thank you so much po sa pagbahagi po ng kwento at ng buhay niyo po. Very empowering and inspiring po. So, ang question ko po ay para kay Director BDB. So, karamihan...
BDBD.
Ay.
Kulang ng isa.
BDBD. Ayan. So, ang question ko po ay karamihan po sa amin or marami po sa atin ang gusto pong gumawa ng impact. However, hindi po namin alam kung paano po sisimulan. So, ano po yung advice nyo po para magawa po yung or makapag first step po kami? Yun lang po. Thank you.
I think the first thing, as far as my experience explains, ang una kong ginawa ay I saw the real situation kung nasaan ako. So I was farming in Baao and I saw the wives of farmers doing nothing. So I think you can start from there. Kailangan may pagsimulan ka nga, di ba? So you start with where you are and what you have. Like, ang alam ko lang naman magtahi, ano ba ang ma-share ko? O di yun ang i-share mo. Kasi pag nag-share ka nun, maapektuhan mo sila positively. Magkakaroon sila ng livelihood. Kung hindi man livelihood, at least may hobby. In fact, sa PICAF po, nagtuturo na ako ngayon ng sewing. O anong say nyo? Sa mga soon to retire. Kasi nalaman ko, ako kasi I retired from the corporate when I was 41. Nag-farm na ako. And itong mga kasamahan ko ngayon sa PICAF, they retire at 65, kung early retirement, basta past 60s na. And parang lost sila. Ano na bang gagawin ko after retirement? So I'm teaching them now how to sew and using old clothes. What you have, you don't have to buy it. So, paggamit ng kamay, you also have hands. Yun ang mga importante i-consider mo muna when you want to start. Then you can grow big na. So, yun lang po. Salamat.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bernadette. So, do we have more questions po sa ating pong mga participants? Baka meron po sa inyong nahihiya. Ayan, wag po tayong mahihiyang mag-ask ng question sa ating pong mga resource speaker. I guess wala na po tayong mga questions. Why don't we give our resource speakers a warm round of applause? Miss Bernadette, Ma'am Regine, Ma'am Michelle, thank you very much po sa pagsagot ng mga questions ng ating pong mga participants ngayon. And I hope po sa mga sagot po ng ating pong mga resource speakers ay talaga pong nabigyan po kayo ng insightful na mga sagot sa inyo pong mga katanungan. And at this juncture, we will now award the Certificate of Appreciation. So may I call on our God focal person, Ma'am Beth G. Magararo. May I request our resource speakers to please stand up po as we award your Certificate of Appreciation. May I read the citation, Republic of the Philippines, Department of Agriculture, Philippine Center for Post-Harvest Development and Mechanization, Gender and Development Program, CLSU Compound Science City, Muñoz, Nueva Ecija, awards the Certificate of Appreciation to for being our guest speaker during the We Talk Women and Everyone during the 2026 National Women's Month celebration conducted on March 25, 2026 at Philmec Auditorium given this 25th day of March 2026. Signed, Beth G. S. Magararo, God Focal Person, Senior Science Research Specialist, Nelson C. Santiago, God Executive Committee Chairperson, Interim Director for Research and Development. Again, the Certificate of Appreciation is awarded to Miss Bernadette B. de los Santos, Ma'am Miss Rogerine Miguel Irvine, and Ma'am Michelle de la Cruz. Again, a warm round of applause, please, for our guest speakers. Take your seats po. And now for our closing message, I will now hand the microphone to our God focal person, Ma'am Beth G. Magararo.
A pleasant good morning to everyone. On behalf of Philmec Management and its Gender and Development Focal Point System Technical Working Group, it is an honor to express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guests and, of course, participants. I must say our remarkable guests, our resource persons, are remarkable individuals who embody the strength, the resilience, and the brilliance of empowered women. Thank you for sharing your stories and experiences. You have inspired us enough. Tunay na napahanga ninyo kami. And most importantly, you have inspired us to find our best versions of ourselves. Through your words and journeys, you made us realize that women are powerful forces of development or catalyst of change. Women can rise or persevere above challenges. Women can find courage amidst adversity. And women can use or share their stories to uplift and inspire others. Thank you for reminding us of these limitless potentials of women in leading with compassion and purpose. Lastly, to our participants, thank you for giving time to learn with us. Your presence and active participation made this event a successful one. Muli, maraming salamat, sa Diyos ang papuri, and Happy National Women's Month.
Thank you very much to our God focal person. As we come to end of We Talk, we hope that today's stories and insights have inspired each of you to believe in your potential and take your space in any space you choose. May you leave this room more confident, more motivated, and more ready to lead, create, and make a difference. Let us always remember there's space for women everywhere, and that space includes you. Once again, thank you for joining us in We Talk, where women speak, lead, and thrive. Babae ka, hindi babae lang. Have a wonderful day to each and every one of us. Ayan, so magkakaroon po tayo ng photo opportunity. So, dito